Good evening and welcome everyone. I would like to share with you two of the most recent additions to the Bentley Historical Library. These acquisitions are the work of Marshall Fredericks, a renowned Michigan sculptor who is sadly dead. But of course, Mr. Fredericks' masterpieces are eternal. Who can forget his Baboon series? Baboon 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Baby Baboon, Baboon Fountain, Baboon playing a mandolin, and everybody's favorite, Baboon playing a ham. And his works such as Acrobat Clown, Circus Clown, Clown Musicians, Juggler Clown, and the majestic Lovesick Clown. These are images familiar to anyone with even a rudimentary art history background. Is it any wonder that in 1948, the university commissioned Fredericks to create bas-reliefs for the new Literature, Science, and the Arts building? Is it any surprise that when the university asked Mr. Fredericks to represent student life, he presented us with a series of semi-clothed, but very buff Greeks, Native Americans, assorted small woodland creatures, the occasional oxen, and of course an assortment of baboons which he claimed were just for fun. But the tour de force was his bronze diptych, Dream of the Young Man and Dream of the Young Girl. Some have criticized these extraordinary images as sexist. I would suggest that rather than viewing these works through today's gender norms, we appreciate them as historically accurate depictions of an earlier and simpler time. In Dream of the Young Man, we see a young man reclining on his stomach. Recent critics have suggested that there is something less than manly about the young man, and that the way he appears to be smirking, even as he eagerly thrusts his buttocks upwards, calls into question the nature of his dream. However, there is no indication that the man who gave us such extraordinary tributes to heterosexuality as Lovesick Clown had any homoerotic intentions. The dreamer is topped by a series of abstracted shapes. Experts agree the shapes clearly refer to a seafood appetizer, but disagree as to whether the dreamer is covered with a blanket of fried calamari or is dreaming in the shadow of a giant shrimp cocktail. On top of this mysterious seafood topping, two tall and majestic schooners are in full sail. In the accompanying image, we see a scene of pioneer life typical of Southeast Michigan in 1948. A late model Conestoga wagon is in the background. From the size of the wheels, one can speculate this was a really souped-up model favored by students. On Saturday nights, Conestogas raced up and down State Street, sometimes at speeds of 2 or 3 miles an hour. Indeed, there are many farm animals in this scene. Again, a testimony to Mr. Fredericks' concern for historical accuracy. Thank you. The sheep and the oxen seem to be looking at their feet with dismay. Perhaps this is because they lack legs. The hooves seem to be directly attached to the bodies. This scene is remarkable for its absence of either baboons or clowns, rare in a Mr. Fredericks' work. Again, we can only speculate as to what the artist intended. In the foreground, we see a tender scene of family life. Like most post-war female students, the girl sports a Holly Hobbie-style bonnet and a skirt that resembles the Liberty Bell. One child stands behind her and appears to hate her father. The smaller child dangles from the mother's arms, and she's considering whether she should just let him fall. We can see what she is thinking. It's grass. It's not that far. Would I go to jail? Meanwhile, the father is wearing a nice set of boots, but no pants. Careful attention is paid to the boxer briefs. The torso of the male figure is covered with a fabric that is either transparent, non-existent, or at least very wet. The young man's six-pack is lovingly described by the sculptor.
Daddy has nice abs.
However, the young girl, like the oxen and the sheep, fails to meet our gaze. Perhaps her contact lens has popped out, or her Prozac has stopped working. Yet her breasts are still optimistic, almost cheeky. In fact, as we look at the sculpture, we notice that her breasts are very close to her cheeks. It is only then that we realize her breasts are actually moving. They're blasting up and out of the sculpture. And as they do, they seem to bid us farewell.
3, 2, 1, blast off!
Dream of the young girl. Dream of the young girl. Dream of the young girl, my ass. Ugh. I never understood that, really. Why I was a young girl that was dreaming. Aren't young girls supposed to be like 5? I remember being a few months younger than my best friend, and on her 10th birthday, she was so excited to finally be a big girl. I told her I was a big girl too, but she informed me that you can't be a big girl until you are 10 years old. That's 2 hands old. That's a whole decade. See, I'm pretty sure the chronological order of girlhood does not go from baby to toddler to young girl to big girl, and then back to young girl. And if I have to be a young girl, then why did he get to be a young man? Why wasn't his nautical nonsense called Dreams of the Young Boy? And furthermore, if I'm a young girl, then why would they plop 2 scrawny mutts in my arms? As if I don't have enough problems already. And as if society really thinks that a young girl should be knocked up twice. I hate kids. Snot-faced, sticky-fingered, toothless. Ugh. That's why I pulled young man here out of his anal sex ship dream. See, he actually likes children. I don't know why they didn't stick them with him in the first place. And leave it up to society to misinterpret my motives, to think that I'm reaching for his strong hand for some support. I'm reaching for his hand to shake on the deal we made. See, he gets the animals and the children, and I get his dream. 2 ships to sail off the side of this building.